Are the people behind the not Intellivision Amico trying to unload unsold physical boxed editions of their games on eBay? We're going to get into that, but first let's take a step back in time. How about October 10th, 2021? It was one of the initial launch dates, if you will. It was supposed to be released the year previous, but of course it got delayed, quote unquote. And instead, they sold physical games that you can't play on anything you could buy on their website. And they tried to use FOMO, fear of missing out, because, you know, 5 days later or so in an email, they said last opportunity as our initial allocation is nearly sold out, which I love that word, initial allocation. That sounds like a marketing blast processing fake term that can mean whatever you want. You could have 5,000 of these guys hanging out in a warehouse, and you can pretend that your initial allocation is 100 and you sold 70 of them. So you're almost sold out of that initial allocation. It means nothing. And they tried to push it further in an email. The end of October, hey, the sale's going really well. We're almost sold out. I don't think that is the truth. And I also think this was one of the signs, these box games, if you will, was one of the biggest signs of a scam, because let's see what's going on. So they had the launch date 10/10, then April 15, 2021, and then 10/10/2021, and then in August. Okay, so the last people heard is the goal was to get the system out at the end of 2021. So when they're selling these games in October, people are expecting the systems to be out by Christmas. How scammy is that? Because as we know now, they didn't have any concrete plans or funding to release the system. And they kept pushing the end date. So the fact that they would release these games when they don't have a solid plan, to me, shows how much of a scam this thing really was. And then when you went to buy it at first, you would have to buy either a 4-pack or you'd have to buy an 8-pack. Now you could buy a couple individual games. You could get Missile Command by itself, and you can also get Rigid Force Redux by itself. But originally you could spend $150 on a package of 8, so a little under $20 per quote unquote game, or $80 or $20 a piece for the packs. And then on their website, they started, these games came on Google Play, they started to sell them individually, and you can also get the code for the game. Finnegan Fox is on Google Play. It's not doing well, 10 plus sold, but they haven't put that on their store yet. Maybe after this video pops up, they'll be like, hey, there's an opportunity to get an extra $25. Okay. So that was interesting. But then if you go, yesterday I noticed someone was listing a bunch of new individual games, and it's the Blue Sky Rangers for $25 a piece and insane shipping. These things are roughly the size of a Blu-ray case. Okay, they're not heavy at all. If I was shipping them, if I sold them on eBay, I think $5 could get them just about anywhere in the country. They're doing priority mail only. And if you're close to them, it's almost $12. If you're further away, it gets closer to $20. And there might be a reason for that, because in the past, people were selling these things because they didn't always pop up for sale, but people would sell these things and they would be able to get a little bit more money than what they paid for it. If we look at completed listings, you could see someone sold just the lenticular card coin and the RFID card without the box. They were selling them for $30 a pop. And you could see these games were going for roughly what they paid for, maybe a little more. Like someone sold this Evel Knievel for $50. Someone sold some of the games for $40. So after the eBay fees, they may have made a few bucks. So maybe they smelled some money and they said, hey, we could do that. So we look and we see that Blue Sky Rangers is selling it. Blue Sky Rangers on eBay. Let's go ahead and we'll dig into this. If you look at their other items, they've been around. They've been a reputable Intellivision branded seller. They currently focus a lot on the homebrew or new releases, if you will, but sometimes they have old stuff like old catalogs and old stock. And I believe basically whatever Keith Robinson had at the Intellivision Productions, their office, maybe if they had a storage locker, some of that stuff is what they're selling. And of course, they're making partnerships with these people selling new Intellivision games and selling them on their website as well. And we look at this right here. This website says that Intellivision Productions was formed in 1997 when the rights to Intellivision as well as Mattel and M Network Games were acquired by two former Blue Sky Rangers, Keith Robinson and Stephen Rooney. And I believe Stephen Rooney is the head of this company to this day. And if you go right now to the Intellivision website, you look at everyone who's still supposedly I believe most of these people have moved on. Obviously, Happy John there still around, but I believe a lot of these guys have moved on, or if they're doing anything, it's very little. But you look down, and we keep going down, and there is Stephen Rooney. He is considered a co-founder of Intellivision Entertainment, now Amico Entertainment, a board member and investor. And it says this in his bio that he co-founded Quicksilver Software, developed games like B-17 Bomber, that's for the Intellivision, Star Trek Starfleet Command, that's for the Windows, and has some other experience as well. So he's been a part of this thing. I don't know how much he's into the scammy side of it, but he's been a part of it, and he's even done some loans. So if you look at the SEC documentation, there's 2 loans that's documented. He loaned almost $200,000, and there was still some of it with unpaid interest. Cured an unpaid interest. He was owed $260,000, and they did another loan. So that was between November and October of 2022. And then let's see if I can get the other loan up here. Here it is. Here's another cash loan. He loaned another $150,000 in August of 2021. They needed money, and then they're selling these physical products. So there's 1 or 2 possibilities in my estimation what's going on here. One is that the company, through Blue Sky Rangers, now there was Intellivision Productions. Tommy Tallarico basically bought the Intellivision rights and everything from Intellivision Productions. So all that Intellivision IP and stuff went to Tommy Tallarico. He put it under Intellivision Entertainment. And I believe Steve Rooney continued Intellivision Productions, where they could sell these games and stuff on eBay, these new games, but they didn't own the rights to the Intellivision name. They could probably, refer to it, but they couldn't do it. So I think 1 or 2 things is happening. Instead of putting these games individually for sale, and maybe that's coming, maybe that's the next step. Maybe even though this is under Blue Sky Rangers, Intellivision Entertainment or Amico Entertainment does not have an eBay shop, so maybe they're using Steve Rooney, maybe they're splitting the profits, or maybe this is a deal where they're trying to pay back some of the money they own, Mr. Rooney, if they still own it, by giving him the physical product to sell separately. Or maybe they even did some sort of a sweetheart deal where they're like, hey, just keep going on. We'll give you some cases of this stuff for free. I don't know what's going on. If you see a whole bunch of this from Blue Sky Rangers or from the Intellivision Entertainment, now Amico Entertainment website, if you see these getting sold at a mass discount, which they're only worth collector's value, in my opinion, just as like to remember this debacle. But if you see these games go at a severe discount, that might be a sign that things are truly winding down. That, or before Amico Entertainment goes bankrupt, they might just give it or sell it at no cost or low cost to Mr. Rooney, and he might sell these individually on eBay. But if we go into the listings, there is a little bit of interesting information. So here we are, Evel Knievel. And if we go down into this, they do go ahead and they do say that you can, if possible, you could get the Google Play code. So let's see, they all say pretty much the same thing up here until they get to the description. There's a little bit of variations. And there's 10 available, a nice round number. My guess is if they sold all 10 more would become available. That's just my guess. I could be wrong. But let's see. You get the RFID card that can be used to activate the game on an Amico console. Oh, there's a star. It's not yet available to the public, and the future public release is not guaranteed, which is more than what I think they say on the website. And a free copy, double star, for Amico Home for Android, if and when it becomes available on Google Play. This game is not. This game is not yet available, and the future availability is not guaranteed. Once available, get a complimentary download code for the Amico, for the Google Play Store, by creating an account at Amico Club and registering it. But it doesn't tell you how to register on the Amico Club. There's no website. Registering the box edition requires opening the box to enter the serial number on the RFID card. And dare to do impossible feats, unlock multiple vehicles. And here we got Blue Sky Rangers, formed originally by Intellivision Productions, and now they're under a new name, and they released a bunch of stuff. And here we go. Intellivision is a registered trademark of Atari. Google Play, Google, and Amico, Amico Home, and Evil Knievel, they're owned by other things. So at least they put who owns it. So they've sold none. This popped up. I saw this yesterday. They've sold none, and it doesn't look like there's any watchers yet either. But I want to dig a little bit more into these. So let's see. Rigid Force Redux. It also has 10 available still. And if you go on, it says get the complimentary download code, because that is on the Google Play. Finnegan Fox is on Google Play. Let's see what it says. We go down. This game is not yet available on Google Play. Okay. But if I go over here, it's right there. And it's got 10 plus downloads. All right, so let's go back. So we did Finnegan Fox. I think that still had 10 for sale. Let's go to Missile Command, 10 available. Let's see what we got here. Missile Command. This game is not yet available. Wait, yes, it is. It's on there as well. Oops, and we copied the description from Evil Knievel. Dare to attempt impossible feats, unlock multiple vehicles, and things, like the Evil Knievel. Which, by the way, these are using the same descriptions that if you go to buy their games, if we click to go here and buy their games, and we look at the games, they're using the same descriptions. Like we go to, where is Evil Knievel? Dare to attempt impossible feats, unlock multiple. It's the same descriptions, so they're using the same ones there. So let's go to Biplanes. Biplanes is definitely not 10, so they haven't sold any yet. Not available. Let's see. Take to the Skies. Okay, that description is cut and pasted correctly. Dynablaster, which will probably never become available because of BBG owning it. I don't know. So yep, not available, and they have not sold any since this came out yesterday. Then we got Brain Duel. There's a game that will never come out. Looks like the description is correct. 10 available. And we go down here, Missile Command. Let's see, get a copy of it. So here you go. This one you can do it. And of course, Missile Command, dare to attempt impossible feats, unlock multiple vehicles and outfits, or jump Snake Canyon with your friends. I think someone got tired. I'm sorry, Mr. Rooney, if you got tired posting all these. So there you go. You can now, and remember, you couldn't buy these games individually, but now you can buy them all on eBay. If you really want to spend $25, $35 for one of these, I'm going to say pass on that. I do own all these physical things as a memento to this wonderful occasion. I did not pay full price anywhere close, thankfully, but it will be interesting to see what happens. So there you go. Someone's trying to unload these Blue Sky Rangers. Are they doing it with Amico Entertainment, or is this a way to repay Mr. Rooney? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you next time.